Yo, 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 what is up, y'all? It's Cone back here again tonight with another episode of After the Buzzer. Tonight, gonna be recapping the NBA All-Star Game, which just wrapped up as I'm recording this. It was a really good time, as it has been since they changed the format. Prior to that, there were all these questions of like, oh, how fun really is the All-Star Game? They never try. But I feel like ever since they've switched the format, people kind of unanimously agree that the NBA All-Star Game is a ton of fun, and this year was no different. You had incredible performances from a multitude of guys that we're going to talk about. Of course, the Elam ending was super fun, with it coming right down to the wire, with LeBron James hitting a game winner, of course, in Cleveland, over, I think, Joel Embiid and another defender, fading away from right around the elbow, right inside the three-point line. It was just all around a great time. You had the NBA 75 festivities at halftime, which I will definitely talk about after we kind of get through the All-Star Game, because that was a super cool moment to see too. But of course, let's start off by talking about the All-Star Game. And by far, the best player in this All-Star Game and the All-Star Game MVP, it was Steph Curry. And it really wasn't close. Steph had 50 points, including 16 three-pointers, which is absolutely ridiculous. And you might be saying, if you didn't watch it, like, oh, it's Steph Curry, they don't play defense, like, how impressive really is that? Go back and watch this game, because Steph Curry was not just taking Steph Curry threes, he was taking stuff that is even far beyond what we typically see from Steph Curry, which is exactly what I want to see from him in this kind of like exhibition showcase type game. I want to see players do insane stuff that doesn't make sense, that they would never typically do in games. Except Steph Curry might even try some of this stuff in a game. It's stuff that we've kind of seen before, but somehow he took it to another level. He was shooting logo threes and turning around. He shot a three from the corner and turned around the second he released it, and then asked a fan if it went in. And when he said yes, he ran back on defense without even looking to see if it did went in, because he believed him. It was incredible to watch. And Steph Curry's just one of those players where, even though like I've been watching him for years, he continues to do brand new things that just don't make sense to me. Everything he was doing tonight, it was just super fun. Every time he knocked down another three, the whole crowd went crazy. And I do want to give a shout to the crowd, because I said in my video last night talking about All-Star Saturday Night, where it kind of felt like the crowd was dead, whether TNT just turned down the noise on the crowd or the crowd actually was dead. It just didn't sound very loud. Tonight, the crowd was awesome. They were super into it. The commentary was way better than it was yesterday. Kevin Harlan was great. I like what Reggie Miller and Dwayne Wade were doing too. They brought on a couple NBA legends too, Allen Iverson, Dirk Nowitzki, amongst others. It was just a really fun event, and I thought it was a pretty cool atmosphere to go around the whole thing. And of course, they were going nuts. Every time Steph Curry hit a three, Kevin Harlan is just a great commentator. So it was super fun to watch. I really, really enjoyed what he was doing out there. Of course, like I mentioned, LeBron James, who was weirdly struggling during part of this game. He was kind of just chucking up random shots, threes, talking to guys on the sideline, just doing whatever he wanted, because it's like his billionth All-Star game. But he still had some pretty cool moments at the end in the fourth quarter, locking up on defense, blocking Joel Embiid, who had a great performance for Team Durant and might have been the MVP if Team Durant did end up winning. He had, of course, the game-winning fadeaway mid-range jumper. He had a couple deep threes at the end there. He really just like locked in at the end of the game, which was cool to see. Like I mentioned, Joel Embiid had an awesome performance, just being dominant with 36 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists. And I know y'all probably don't care that much about stat lines in an All-Star game, but overall, he was just doing what he's been doing. He was sinking threes. There was this one portion of the game where him and Nikola Jokic were going back and forth trading threes, which was super fun to watch, because seeing big men shoot threes never gets old for me. And then, like yesterday, we had Cat, another big man. Well, tonight he was doing windmill dunks, but last night hitting enough threes to win the three-point contest. So, the big man revolution keeps rolling. Giannis had some really cool plays as well. A couple really cool dunks, some windmills, some like behind the back type stuff. It's Giannis. He's super athletic. He's going to do what he's going to do. John Morant and Trey Young, I almost said Trey Man, too much of a Thunder fan, but Trey Young and John Morant had some crazy awesome highlights, multiple lobs, including one where Trey Young like threw it up from like just inside half court, right above the 3-point line area, and he floated it in for John Morant to do like kind of like a 360. There was another one where he threw it down behind his head, and his head is like above, like his head's like here and the rim's like there. It's just super fun to watch John Morant do those super athletic dunks. There was one portion during the broadcast where they went to John Morant mic'd up on the bench, and Reggie Miller was like begging him to do the 3-point contest, which I think we all, or not the 3-point contest, the dunk contest, which I think we all want to see. So Hopefully, John Morant does end up doing that. He kind of seemed like, maybe I'll think about it type thing. They were begging him to save the dunk contest after what happened last night. So that was pretty funny. We had some cool moments with the first time All-Stars. LaMelo Ball threw a crazy lob to, I think it was DeJounte Murray, like kind of an under the legs type thing, which was super cool. We had a cool moment from DeJounte Murray. He, like I mentioned, the dunk, and he just had a pretty good game all around with 17 points. So shout out to him. LaMelo with 18. It's just always fun to see the first-time All-Star show out. There were a couple cool plays between Jarrett Allen and Darius Garland, including a lob between the two of them, getting, the Cleveland hometown crowd really involved. They were fun to watch. My All-Star MVP pick in DeMar DeRozan only had 10 points, but, he was out there making a couple really tough mid-ranges. It was always fun to watch, teammates go at each other. We saw LaVine and DeRozan go at it. We saw Chris Paul and Devin Booker go at it. Chris Paul only played a couple minutes in this one, if y'all did not see. Chris Paul is going to be out 6 to 8 weeks with a fracture, and I believe it's his thumb. So he was only out there for a couple minutes. He just wanted to be out there for kind of, the hell of it, to just hang out. He didn't put up any stats in this game, just vibing, hanging out. So all around, it was a pretty good time. A lot of highlights in those first 3 quarters. And then the fourth quarter, as they usually do, they really locked in, playing really tough defense, getting some big blocks, hitting some big buckets. Devin Booker turned up and was super clutch in this one. To really bring it close, it was 161 to 160, needing a final score of 163. So it came right down to the wire after Devin Booker, I believe, hit a 3. And then Zach LaVine hit a bucket. So this was a close one. LeBron James goes down the other end and hits a fadeaway jumper to seal it 163 to 160. Steph Curry, of course, your All-Star Game MVP. It was just a good time, and it was a lot of fun to watch. I love watching kind of the camaraderie of the NBA, watching these guys that are super talented create these awesome highlights. It just, every year, it is super exciting for me. I've never been one of those pessimistic people who's like, oh, the All-Star Game, they don't play defense, whatever. It's just fun to watch. I love basketball, and seeing the best basketball players in the world go out there, have fun. And I believe it was Reggie Miller that said, it's just the greatest pickup game of all time. That's the way it is. So the All-Star Game, I thought it was a pretty good time. Let me know what you think about it. Do you like the current format for it, or do you miss the old one? I feel like it's pretty universal that people really like this new format. I saw a poll on Twitter from one of my guys, Thunder Chats, shout out Dylan. He tweeted out asking if people like the new format or miss the old one, and I think it was a 91% I like the new format to a 9% go back to the old one. Pretty consensus. There's always going to be people that disagree, but I think for the most part, as far as I know, people really do love this new format, and I think they really struck gold with it. The All-Star Game right now, as it is, to me, is perfect. I really don't think there are any changes you need to make, other than maybe with the rosters, expanding the rosters or making it positionless to kind of switch to the form of basketball that is played now, where positions are kind of outdated for a lot of players. So many guys play forward, guard, some even play forward, guard, and center in the case of a guy like LeBron James. So just a couple tweaks maybe to the roster, but overall, I feel like they have the format pretty down pat. So also, I want to give a shout out to LeBron, because in this format, Team LeBron has never lost. Kevin Durant keeps getting his butt kicked in these drafts. I don't know if it's just his drafting skills or it's just Team LeBron just kind of puts things together when they most need to, but KD kind of needs to get in the lab, work on his GMing skills, maybe take some lessons from LeBron, lay GM it up a little bit, but LeBron forming a dynasty in the All-Star Game as a general manager. So All-Star Game, super fun. And then, of course, we had the NBA 75 celebration in the middle, where they said the name of every guy. There were most of the players on the NBA 75 list were there, and it was super cool. I really wish I could have made it out to this All-Star weekend. I think it would have been really fun. And to see all of those legends out there would have been a surreal experience, because it's those are the 75 greatest basketball players of all time. You can debate who should have been there, who shouldn't have been there, but they decided those were the 75 best basketball players of all time. And 50 or 60 of them were in one building. That's crazy. The concept of that, even just watching it, I was getting chills watching it on a live stream on my laptop. I can't imagine what it was like to be there. If you were there, please let me know how that was. It was a pretty cool celebration, bringing all the guys out, seeing all the guys dap each other up. There was one portion where LeBron James and Michael Jordan, who was at the Daytona 500 earlier today, but ended up flying in for this, so he did end up making it. But the two of them dapped each other up and gave each other a hug, which was awesome. The two greatest basketball players, in my opinion, of all time. dapping each other up. It's just cool to see like the camaraderie. You had some cool moments with like former teammates, some funny stuff, and just seeing all those legends there. I keep saying it, but it's just super surreal to see the guys all there. I thought it was an awesome celebration. I thought the crowd gave this like huge standing ovation too when they announced Kobe's name. Rest in peace, Kobe, of course. Wish he really could have been there. It sucks. That would have been a perfect opportunity to honor him, one of the greatest to ever do it. And it just breaks my heart that he wasn't able to get there. So rest in peace, Kobe. Shout out the Mamba. Overall, just a really great celebration. It was super fun to watch. And now we look forward, I guess, to NBA 100, which is in 25 years. And I will be 46 years old when that happens. So we'll see if this channel is still a thing when I reach that age. But let me know who you think right now in the NBA could end up on that NBA 100 list at some point. Overall, All-Star Weekend, I think, was a really good time. Like I mentioned previously, there were some duds of events and like weird segments and stuff, especially yesterday. But overall, it's a really good time. I think it was an awesome celebration of not just like the current NBA talent, but the NBA 75 talent. Getting to see all these legends go out there and get their recognition was super cool. I look forward now to the second half of the season. We've got 4 days now, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 3 days. Basketball comes back on Thursday. So hopefully I'll try to pump out some content in the meantime to kind of tide y'all over. If you have any requests for videos, let me know in the comment section below. But I'm super excited for the unofficial second half of the season. We've got a really great playoff race coming up. The MVP race is super close, and I'm just super excited to see what happens at the end of the year. So I appreciate y'all watching through this first half of the season. I will see y'all later. Real one, say it back.